and welcome to another interview with yours truly, Grace Unending. Today, we welcome to our studio the pastor of Christus Victor Lutheran Church in Naples, Florida, Pastor Tom Slater. Now, Pastor Slater has been an intern supervisor for the last 23 years, welcoming men and women to Christus Victor who are in the process of becoming a Lutheran pastor. Let's welcome Pastor Slater to our program today. Hello, Pastor Slater, and welcome to our program.
Well, hello, Grace. I'm so thankful to be able to get a chance to see you. It's nice for you to have me on your program today. You've got quite the following, and I've been taking note that you've had some pretty large names in the church's history as your guest, so I am honored to be included in your collection of interviews.
Yes, I have been very lucky to have scored some very important interviews with individuals from the larger church's historical past. But today, Pastor Slater, I want to focus a bit on your particular work in the church. I understand that you have been in the seminary's intern program for the last 23 years. I would imagine you have found that very interesting as well as challenging. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, Grace, as most of your audience already knows, becoming a Lutheran pastor is a 4-year master degree program where the student normally does 2 years in the program at the seminary. The 3rd year is set aside for internship, and then they return for a 4th and final year of seminary training. This year, we have our 23rd intern studying here from the Lutheran Seminary in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and his name is Josh Copeland, and he comes to us from North Carolina.
Well, now, Pastor Slater, it has come to my attention that Josh found himself with a bit of a nickname at the event the two of you attended last year. Can you verify that rumor?
Yes, Grace, we were both honored to be a part of the ELCA Churchwide Assembly in Milwaukee, Wisconsin last August. You can imagine that there is quite a bit of wordsmithing and technical jargon that goes on during those gatherings. It can be pretty tedious. Well, one of the only ways to get the debate to stop is to call the question, which Josh did numerous times during the week, hence getting the nickname Call the Question Copeland. We've all been glad he didn't try and bring that technique to our council meetings, though, throughout the year.
I can imagine. Still, it's a great meeting loophole to move things along for sure. Good for you, Josh. Now, normally, I understand your congregational members are able to have Josh over for dinner, take him to community events and the like, but this year was not a normal year, and it's most unfortunate because usually your church is able to have a fun lunch for the intern at the end of their year, reviewing some of the lighter moments they've experienced in the life of the church. Are there any stories that have come to you from members, Pastor Slater?
Well, the Dohertys told me about this time when Emily, Josh's fiance, was visiting, and they took a wonderful trip to the Thousand Islands and saw on a map that there actually was a town that is north of the Everglades with the same name as Josh's last name, the town of Copeland. So they must have had a very interesting and fun trip to this very small, nondescript town here in Florida. Apparently, they offered to let them out to visit, but I don't think there was a great deal to see there outside of all the alligators and the snakes. Then I received an email from the Rule family, who really enjoyed spending time with Josh this past year, as well as Emily and the entire family. They wanted to wish Josh the best of luck and success in everything that he does, and they know he will make a wonderful pastor for a future congregation. There were some things they wanted Josh to know, so Josh, here they are. You will always know where to find us after church on Sundays. Sunday brunch. You will always know where to find a steak dinner and games on Saturday night. They have turned you, Josh, into a hockey fan. Go Blades! According to Faking It, Josh goes through 4 rolls of toilet paper each week. Apparently, we must scare it right out of him. Say what? Next time Josh needs someone to keep him awake while driving back from Universal, don't choose Carson. Never start a debate at the Rule House after 11 p.m. It might be that you don't get home until 2 a.m. And last but certainly not least, from James and Riley, never ever forget Piglet. Whatever.
How wonderful. Josh, a special message from the rules. Yes, these are the fun experiences that regrettably were rather curtailed by this whole virus pandemic we've been dealing with, weren't they? While there is some distinction to it, I'm afraid Josh will forever be given the special and telling nickname of the coronavirus intern, right?
Well, Grace, that is unfortunately true. We've had other interns in the past with experience-related nicknames like the Hurricane Irma intern, etc. But in this case, we wanted Josh to remember his experience with us here at Christus Victor. So I actually had my wife make up this coronavirus dish so that every time he sees this, he'll remember his last few months with us.
Yes, an interesting memento. Something for your next yard sale, Josh. Anyways, it's also come to my attention that Josh has a good singing voice. And according to your organist, it's been wonderful to have his tenor voice added to the church choir. Has there been any experiences with his singing that you'd like to share with the audience?
Well, Josh's voice is almost as good as Jerry's, so he's done a very good job this year. And you know, Grace, Josh is a good singer, but we've enjoyed having him be able to perform some great songs for us. But one Sunday, we had a funny thing happen. Joyce inadvertently played the wrong hymn, and the funny thing about it was that the words, however crazy, from the original song we were to sing fit right in with the accompaniment. Now, Josh knew something was wrong, and he wanted to stop the playing of the song, but we just kept the cameras rolling, and Joyce kept playing, and it all worked out perfectly. There are not many instances where that would have happened, but in this case, it was a funny moment that took Josh by surprise.
I would imagine. So the term Zoom meeting is something most of us never even heard of until this pandemic caused us to quarantine. I understand that Josh was able to jump in and use this new technology that was foreign to most of us to help the church keep rolling with all their meetings, Bible studies, and communication to the congregational members.
That is so true, Grace. We were very thankful that technology was one of Josh's strong talents. Right from the start, Josh was able to work with Sean Rule, Jerry Benjamin, and Dawn King to keep our congregation YouTubing worship, Bible studying, Zoom meetings, and staying in constant communication with our people. These interviews are a prime example of that work.
Yes.
In fact, you yourself, Grace, are a product of that new technology. I'm still not really sure how we lured you away from primetime television, Grace, but God always has a better plan for our lives.
Yes, it was certainly a new career move for me, Pastor Slater. Anyways, you know, Pastor Slater, there have been so many things this year that have had to be postponed, altered, or even left behind completely because of the need to social distance. How do you normally close out the end of the year with an intern?
Grace, it's usually so wonderful to have a large luncheon gathering for our interns at the end of the year with some good food, some funny commentary at the end. But this year we have had to adjust our offerings, and we've just had a parade of cars go by to say goodbye to Josh and Emily. We'll have a staff luncheon. We'll have this beautiful, pretty quilt that my mother-in-law, Anna Koenig, made for him, signed by as many people in the church that we can get. Unfortunately, there have been fewer hugs, fewer handshakes, and fewer gatherings to mark this occasion.
Yeah, that's too bad. It sounds like it's not the same, but it sounds like there is still great appreciation for all that Josh has done this year for Christus Victor. Are there any last words you'd like to share with the audience before we close up this interview?
Oh, there sure are. As you've said, Grace, it's not perfect or necessarily what any of us would have wanted, but it's the best that we can do during this time of upheaval in our world. And we want Josh to know that it hasn't diminished the good work that he's been able to do this year. It's been a good year, a different year, a challenging year, But all of us, from the staff to the members, want to say thank you to Josh for all that you've done to aid the ministry here at Christus Victor. We appreciate the work you've done and wish you the very best in the years to come as you move into finding your own church and your own ministry. Best wishes to both you and Emily. Thanks, Josh.
Bye for now.